Hi learners, welcome to the second session on our online learning for essential teaching skills for healthcare professionals. I am Dr. Robel Tadela and I am the Digital Learning Program Coordinator in Health Science Education here at SPHMC. In this session, we will be discussing on developing instructional objectives. So we will be looking at the definition of objectives, its importance from students and teachers' perspective. We will see the learning domains, what they are, and the levels of learning objectives, writing tips, and ways of organizing objective. So by the end of this session, you will be able to identify the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to be learned in your course, develop course objectives, write supportive objectives. So let's start from what objective is. Before you started this video, you have reflected on the first part of this session on what objective is and its importance. As most of you have stated, that objectives are statements that state or that explain what the students will gain after completing the course. This is quite important in that students will have the chance to know what they are going to learn, what's expected of them, and teachers will have a brief view of the content, their teaching method, and also their selection of assessment. Before we dive deep into the levels of the learning objectives, we first have to look what learning domains are. So these are areas where learning occurs, or the areas of expected behavioral change. The first is the knowledge component, also known as the cognitive learning component, which states what the learner should know or what we know. The second is skill, or what we do or what we perform. This is also known as the psychomotor learning domain. The third is attitude. So the attitude domain explains how we feel about what we know or the knowledge, and what we do or the skill component. So having a brief introduction into the learning domains, the learning objective we develop stems from the expected competency, and it is written into levels. The broader level is the course objective, and the next level is the supportive objective. So let's start from the course objective. Course objectives are similar to general objective in research writing. It states the main aim of the course in broad context, but in measurable terms. It also clearly states what students should know by the end of the lesson, and it will encompass the expected knowledge, skill, and attitude domains. So what are the parts of this learning objective? So each learning objective or course objective you develop should answer the questions that are regarded as the WH questions. These WH questions are the what, or let's start from the when, or when the learner is going to demonstrate that skill, who will be demonstrating that skill, in our case the learner, and the third is what skill, knowledge, or attitude is going to be demonstrated. In another model, there is also called the ABCD model for developing parts of the course objective. This ABCD model stands for, A stands for the audience, meaning the learner in our context. B stands for the expected behavior or expected change. C stands for the condition, and D stands for the degree or level to which the action is going to be performed. So after we have seen this, let's take an example course objective. So after completing this course, the student will be able to manage and refer a sick child in an effective and integrated manner. So take a moment to identify the when, the who, and the how of this objective, as well as the ABCD component of this objective. So when you come back, we are going to see another sample course objectives. So this course objective states that upon the successful completion of this course, the student should be able to identify and demonstrate proper safety procedures concerning laboratory safety. So I'm hoping that you have identified the WH questions from the previous objectives. So as we can see here, the when is upon the successful completion of this course. The what, or the expected performance or the expected behavior, is being able to identify and demonstrate the proper safety procedures concerning laboratory safety, and who is going to perform that action is going to be the student. So we can also see another objective. After studying all materials and resources presented in this course, the student will be able to apply scientific reasoning to investigate questions and utilize scientific tools such as microscopes and laboratory equipment to collect and analyze data. So the changed component here is the when. So the when specifies that after studying all materials and resources, that the learner or the student will be able to demonstrate the expected skill or the expected knowledge. In this case is to apply the scientific reasoning to investigate the questions, and also utilize the scientific tools such as microscope and laboratory equipment to collect and analyze data. So let's move on to the supportive objective. So the course objective is further clarified into individual and specific actions that are done to an object of action to achieve the main aim of the course. These are called the supportive objective. These are similar to specific objectives in research. They are secondary objectives. They further specify the expected set of actions to be accomplished so that the main course of objective is met. And these have two parts. The first is the specific action to be taken, and the second is the specific object of action. So let us see examples of specific objectives. So this specific objective is a supportive objective for a previous course objective we have seen before. The course objective is upon the successful completion of this course, the student should be able to identify and demonstrate proper safety procedures concerning laboratory safety. And the support objective further clarifies the specific actions that need to be taken so that the learner will be able to demonstrate the expected skills. So the learner has to list proper safety procedures in laboratory safety. The learner has to analyze the importance of each safety feature, and he or she has to demonstrate proper safety procedures concerning laboratory safety. So moving on, before we write our learning objectives, we have to know an important concept, which is the Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy are a set of hierarchical models that are used to classify educational learning objectives into levels of complexity and specificity. The complexity in learning order increases from bottom to top when we go from remember to create. So the first cognitive, the first in the level of complexity of the learning is remembrance or remembering. This is just merely recognizing and recalling of the facts. Then we go to understanding what the fact mean, what the meaning of this concept is understood, then we move on to application, or applying those facts and those rules into specific ideas, and we further go to evaluation, analyze, evaluation, and creation. Sometimes the last two, the creation and the evaluation, are exchanged in different articles, but the others stay the same in the learning domain. So these levels can be defined for each individual learning domain, which the bottom two, meaning recalling and understanding, are identified as the lower order of thinking and learning, and the above ones are identified to be higher order of learning. In health professionals education and adult learning, it is expected that our objective domain should aim for higher order associated learning objectives. So the learners are expected to apply, analyze, create, and evaluate their knowledge gain, internalize their attitudes, and automate their skills in order to be competent in their learning process. By using these verbs, the Bloom's taxonomy defined verbs, that we can deliver an impactful learning experience for our students. Here are several examples of verbs from Bloom's taxonomy which will be used in your development of your course objectives. You can find more verbs and further resources in the further resources section of this module, and you can also search by yourself to identify the specific higher order verbs that you can use in your course. So after we have seen Bloom's taxonomy and you are writing your objectives, we have to see how to organize your supporting objectives. So during the development of your objective, you have to organize it so that it can aid your teaching process and aid the learner so that they can easily follow your learning path or their learning path. So objectives, supportive objectives, can be organized from simple to complex, from simple concepts to complex concepts. They can also be organized based on the performance of the skills. So these skills might have steps or levels. So based on those levels, the supportive objectives can be written. And the third is based on the objective relation, the relations between individual supportive objectives. So finally, as a summary, we have seen the three learning domains: the knowledge, the skill, and attitude, or the cognitive, the psychomotor, and the affective learning domains. We have seen the two levels of objective, meaning the course objective and the supportive objective. We have seen the four parts of course objective, meaning the questions that have to be answered when we write our course objectives, and the two parts of the supportive objective, meaning the specific action and the specific object of action of the learning. We have also discussed on the Bloom's taxonomy and how we order our supportive objectives in different methods. So this session will be followed by an activity you will be performing here and also in class. And thank you very much for enjoying this session. Hope you continue and finish all the other sessions. Have a nice time.